Now at 10, the jury returns a verdict in the trial of a Joplin man accused of killing a woman and critically injuring his estranged wife. We have the reaction. Plus, a Vernon County man is in jail charged with a shooting death in Nevada, Missouri.
The coronavirus has created some complications in 4-state firefighter training. You'll learn how different departments are responding coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The jury finds a Joplin murder suspect guilty. This is KOIM News at 10. Stephen Thompson left the courtroom this afternoon after hearing the jury's verdict. Guilty of first-degree murder, 2 counts of armed criminal action, and first-degree domestic assault. The verdict means that Thompson's convicted of killing Carissa Gerard and critically injuring his estranged wife, Christina Thompson, in 2015.
We are very pleased with the verdict that the jury has given us. It is the evidence that we believed from the point where we filed this case that Stephen Thompson had committed first-degree murder and first-degree domestic assault. So we're very pleased that they were able to see and consider all that evidence and find him guilty.
Thompson is set to be sentenced late next month. One Nevada, Missouri man is dead and another is in jail following a shooting in a parking lot. Authorities have charged 62-year-old Stephen Vignolo with first-degree murder for the death of 32-year-old Justin Goolsby. Police and sheriff's officers last night responded to a report of shots fired in the parking lot of Pilot Truck Stop in Nevada. They found Goolsby with gunshot wounds inside a vehicle. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Officers arrested Vignolo near the scene. They have not released other details. The Kansas Highway Patrol is asking the public for help finding a vehicle allegedly involved in a hit and run in Crawford County. Authorities say the crash happened around 10 p.m. on September 9th on South 220th Street and East 510th Avenue. The suspect vehicle is a 2016 to 2018 white Chevy pickup, possibly 4-door, with damage to the passenger side rear quarter panel and a missing tail light. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Kansas Highway Patrol. Checking in with Jacob Leonard now for a first look at the weather.
Well, today was absolutely a perfect day. Clear blue skies, humidity not too bad, and highs in the 70s. Turned out to be really nice. In Joplin today, topped out at 78 degrees. That is right around normal for this time of the year, but check it out. Cool start to the day. 45 for the low today. Much cooler than what we normally see at this time of the year. Skywatch Storm Tracker here. Not a lot going on today, as we said. Pretty blue skies for most of the day. Temperatures right now, you can see those south winds working in. 63 in Commerce, 60 in Pittsburgh, 59 in Fort Scott. A little warmer, and you get into southeast Kansas, 64 in Neodesha. As we work through tonight into tomorrow morning, when you get up, head out the door, we're in the 50s. We'll work our way through the 60s, 76 by noon. We will be over 80 degrees for the first time in a few days. We will be warmer early next week, and we do have a chance for rain in the middle to late next week. We'll talk about that here in just a bit, Dow.
Catch you then. COVID-19 has complicated the way area fire departments train their firefighters. KOIM's Mike Mahoney spoke to fire chiefs in Carl Junction and Diamond, Missouri to learn how their departments have adjusted.
COVID-19 hasn't made life easy for the men and women of the Diamond Area Fire Protection District. It forced them to temporarily close their doors to the public in 2020. And in 2021, it's canceled in-person training courses run by the state.
They're looking at more doing the internet classes online instead of very many personal ones, except for the departments that request training. Then they will do in-person training at those departments.
The Diamond Fire Chief says the online fire training courses are helpful, but just can't replace the learning experience that comes with an in-person instructor. Carl Junction's Fire Chief agrees with that assessment.
The best training that we can get is hands-on, and so when you're not able to do that, it's not so much that you necessarily lose your focus, but you definitely lose the edge that you're trying to gain by always sharpening your skills.
But neither of these departments is taking their training situations sitting down. The Carl Junction Fire Protection District has the resources to do more in-house training and is taking advantage of that.
We have a lot more instructors than probably most fire departments around here do, and especially most fire departments that are our size. So we're able to kind of deliver a wealth of training and a diversity of training that maybe some places can't.
And the Diamond Area Fire Protection District is opening their own training facility in Diamond later this year. In Diamond and Carl Junction, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
The Diamond Fire Chief says that while the virus forced them to close their doors to the public last year, he doesn't see that happening this year. The McDonald County School District is getting children ready for school before they step foot in the classroom. The McDonald County Parents as Teachers program and Child Find program aim to identify any learning needs children may have due to the pandemic and virtual learning. They do this through speech training, early childhood education, and physical therapy.
We have had a great influx of students that missed that articulation because they didn't have good cues. Parents were masked up and the people that they are around. And so if you have a mask, you can't necessarily see the verbal cues. And so our numbers for speech articulation have really gone up this past year.
McDonald County educators say these programs are available right now. Every year, millions of children play organized sports. Joining a team keeps kids active and can also teach life lessons such as failure and teamwork. But being an athlete can sometimes be hard on mental health. Mandy Gaither has tips from a psychologist on how to keep sports fun without all the pressure.
Fall sports are back and the benefits are boundless for children who take part.
There's so many things that they learn as far as improving friendships. They learn how to problem solve. They learn to work as a team.
And sports keep kids active, but playing on a team can also be a lot of pressure. So how do you keep your child's head in the game while caring for their mental health? Dr. Stephanie Walsh with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Strong for Life says focus on fun.
Every time their kid runs out on the field, I want the last thing they shout to them to be, have fun. And the first thing they say to them when they come off the field is, I loved watching you play.
Practice plays a big part in sports, but Dr. Walsh says pushing a child to practice more can cause resentment and make the child unsure of themselves.
You're allowed to say, hey, we made a commitment. Can we talk about why you're feeling that you maybe don't want to practice or you don't want to do some of the things we talked about you doing? And ask them what's going on.
Dr. Walsh says follow your child's lead. They may need some downtime. And in sports, like in life, failure is hard, but it allows kids to learn.
Make sure that you're not blaming somebody for a loss. A lot of times we'll always hear kids say, well, the ref was bad, or one of the players didn't do well, and really pushing it off on the fact that sometimes you just lose a game.
But learning that lesson is a win in the long run. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Wall says make sure your child athlete has a balanced schedule. She says not to overwhelm them by signing up for too many activities at once and make rest a priority. Still ahead, the latest on a deadly shooting in a Tennessee grocery store. And an ancient artifact purchased by arts and craft chain Hobby Lobby is returned to its rightful owners.
Roper Hyundai is giving...
Authorities are looking for more evidence and a motive after one person was killed and at least 12 others injured in a mass shooting this afternoon at a Tennessee grocery store. Police say the gunman died of a self-inflicted gunshot. Reporter Michael George has more.
The gunman opened fire in the middle of the afternoon at a Kroger supermarket about 30 miles east of Memphis.
Going to be an active shooter at the Kroger.
Inside the Collierville store, responding officers found frantic employees and customers doing everything they could to survive.
Our SWAT team, along with patrol officers and our command staff members, began the process of going aisle to aisle, room to room. We found people hiding in freezers and in locked offices, and they were doing what they had been trained to do.
One of my coworkers got shot in the head, and a customer got shot in the stomach.
Police say the suspect took his own life. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News they're looking into whether he may have been a disgruntled employee.
We're going to carry this thing as far as we can to see and make sure that there's no one else involved.
Authorities say the gunman's vehicle was recovered in the parking lot and secured for the investigation. FBI agents were also on the scene in the aftermath.
They're here, they're inside the store, they're processing the evidence.
Police Chief Dale Lane called the shooting the most horrific event in Collierville history. Michael George, CBS News.
This was the second mass shooting at a supermarket this year. In March, 10 people, including a police officer, were killed when a lone gunman opened fire inside a market in Boulder, Colorado. The tensions between the U.S. and France over a submarine deal seem to be subsiding. The French ambassador to the U.S. will soon be returning to Washington, D.C. Comes after a phone call between Presidents Biden and Macron. It was the first time the two leaders have spoken since the U.S. and U.K. announced an alliance with Australia to provide that country with nuclear-powered submarines. French officials say they were blindsided after Australia ended its contract with France to build 12 submarines, a deal worth tens of billions of dollars. The U.S. today formally returned an ancient artifact to Iraq that had been purchased by Hobby Lobby. It's called the Gilgamesh Dream Tablet, and it's inscribed with a portion of the epic poem Gilgamesh. The Justice Department determined that the item, quote, entered the United States contrary to federal law. The tablet is thought to be one of the oldest works of literature in the world. Hobby Lobby bought it at auction in 2014 for more than $1.6 million. The president of the privately owned arts and crafts retailer is also the chairman of the Museum of the Bible in Washington. Now, the idea was to put the artifact on display at the museum. The museum and Hobby Lobby had each asked the auction house where they got the tablet, but the auction house allegedly withheld that information and lied. Target is scaling down its holiday hiring this year, but at the same time, the retail giant says it's giving more hours to existing workers, as well as more pay and training. There are also plans to give current workers more scheduling flexibility. Store leaders will check in with employees to get an idea of their scheduling preferences. Target also has a new app it says allows team members to choose and swap shifts, as well as pick up extra hours. As for holiday season hiring, Target wants to bring on 100,000 workers. According to Bloomberg, it was 130,000 last year. Hey, parents, listen up. A major recall is underway for 3 types of baby pillows from the Boppy Company. 8 infants died from suffocation between December of 2015 and June of 2020. Boppy and the Consumer Product Safety Commission gave details about the recall today. In total, the recall covers about 3.3 million baby loungers. The specific products are the Boppy Original Newborn Loungers, Boppy Preferred Newborn Loungers, and Pottery Barn Kids Boppy Newborn Loungers. They were sold from January of 2004 to September of 2021. Consumers should immediately stop using them and reach out to the Boppy Company for a refund. The company says it did not market the loungers for sleeping and included warnings against unsupervised use. Jacob Leonard returns next with a complete forecast, and later some Southwest Missouri soccer action as Webb City takes on College Heights. We'll have the highlights in sports.
Well, it's kind of tough to ask for much better weather than what we saw today. We saw clear skies, highs in the 70s, and the humidity pretty low, not much to speak about. As you can see from here from the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort time lapse, look at those blue skies all day long. Barely a cloud in the sky throughout most of the day. Looking in Joplin right now, 62 degrees. Those winds coming out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour. Humidity 65%. Humidity been all right all day long. Now, we've had 2 really nice days the last 2 days. As you can see, yesterday topped out near 73. Now this morning, when you got up early, go to school, it was a little cool. We had lows in the 40s last night, a little cooler than what we normally see at this time of the year. But those winds switched directions in the afternoon. We got a little warmer today with highs around 77 degrees. Now, still a little warm out there across the area. 61 in Carthage, 59 in Lamar. You can see those south winds pushing up and keeping us warm. A little warmer in southeast Kansas, 63 in Chanute, 64 right now in Fredonia. Skywatch Storm Tracker, not a lot going on here. And as you can see from the last 12 hours, that's been the case for most of the day, and really has been the case for most of the central part of the United States. Future track for you here when you get up to go to school in the morning. Most of us a little warmer than what we saw yesterday, mid-50s as you go to school. As you work through those hours into the afternoon, we will hit 80 for the first time in a couple days, so it will be a little warmer once again. As we work through Friday afternoon and into Friday night, high school football I'm going to be out there. I know you guys are going to be out there. For kickoff, we're looking at mid-70s. Might be a little warmer in southeast Kansas for kickoff, about 81 in Chanute for high school football. And as you're going home, we will make our way through the 70s. Most of us in the upper 60s by the time it's time to go home after high school football. Now Saturday, of course, more sports. Both Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern at home. Southern kicks off at 2 for their home game. It'll be about 78 in Joplin, but again, we will warm up. We will be back over 80 again on Saturday, so it'll be a nice day. A little on the warm side, but go out and watch some college football on Saturday. So here's what we got for you tomorrow. We'll start the day in the 50s. We'll work our way quickly up through the 50s, 60s, 75 by noon, and once again, we will top out at about 83. Those winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour for most of the day coming out of the south. It'll be a pretty mild weekend, a little warmer to begin next week. 89 on Sunday, 89 again on Monday. Tuesday, I was hoping we were done with this, but we're not. 90 on Tuesday. We do have some rain chances mid to late next week. That will cool us off a little bit, but overall, pretty mild, a little warm to begin next week.
Yeah, but at least the hottest extreme isn't as hot as it was, say, a few weeks ago, and it's trending in the right direction.
And by the time football gets here at 7 o'clock, it's not too bad.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. The Joplin School District today hosted its Ag Expo. It was a chance for students with an interest in agriculture to check out equipment in various industry-related booths.
There's always going to be an opportunity for something that you can be passionate about. There's so many different careers. There's beekeeping, there's welding, there's being an RN or an ag teacher or a conservationist. There's just so many different opportunities that we think they could take away.
Yeah, the booths featured welding, farm equipment, and yes, there was even beekeeping booths. Joplin Trucking Company CFI is celebrating 70 years. They marked the milestone today with the delivery of their 15,000th truck from Kenworth. 4 new trucks will feature special graphic wraps to honor the nation's military service members and first responders.
An honor to be recognized by CFI. CFI is a great company. They care about their veterans. They care about their professional drivers. It's an honor to be able to drive this beautiful wrap truck and represent the country.
The 15,000th truck will be driven by a CFI professional driver team, Ricky and Mary Norman, who hold a collective 5.2 million miles with CFI. Coming up in sports, we're going to hear we'll hear from Pitt State as they prepare to host Emporia State on Saturday, and Webb City Soccer aims to bounce back after a rare loss earlier this week.
BU.
It's Family Day this Saturday in the jungle. The Pitt State Gorillas are welcoming in Emporia State. Emporia State is 2-1 on the season behind an offense averaging 35 points per game. The Gorillas have a matching record and are aiming to put together back-to-back wins. PSU also searching for their first win at home after falling to Nebraska Kearney in their opener in week 2.
Left a real nasty taste in our mouths after losing at home opener. We were definitely disappointed. Didn't get the outcome we wanted. But ultimately, it has to add fuel to the fire.
We're just excited, I think, to try to put 4 quarters of really good football together and go out and execute and play well here at home.
Some high school soccer tonight in Southwest Missouri. Webb City aiming for their 6th win in 7 games. Tonight they host the College Heights Cougars. Calden Hood working in the corner. He gets the cross off. Alex Flores is there with the one-timer for the first goal of the game. Flores goes on to score a hat trick. Halfway through the first, Tristan Barraweta changes speed. Big touch to his right. He finds the opposite corner to give the Cardinals a 2-0 lead. It's constant pressure by Webb City. This time, Flores' shot is blocked. Joe Wormuth lifts it over the keeper's head. Cardinals dominate an 8-0 shutout victory. The St. Louis Cardinals are currently on the longest winning streak in baseball. The Cards have won 11 games in a row, including the first 3 of a 4-game series with the Brewers. This afternoon, they finish off that series with Milwaukee, aiming to make it 12 in a row. Not a great start. Tyrone Taylor, grand slam for the Brewers, put St. Louis in a 4-run hole early. And in the 4th, Adam Wainwright gets the strikeout, And that is Wainwright's 2000th career strikeout. Then the bats came to the rescue for the Cards' 7th inning. Paul Goldschmidt hammers a 2-run homer for St. Louis, his 28th, and we're tied at 5. And then in the 9th, more from Goldschmidt, this time a solo shot. Cards score 8 straight to end the game. They win at 8-5 for their 12th consecutive win. Back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Master Sergeant Robert Ham served in the U.S. Army. His hometown, Nowata, Oklahoma. And we are proud to salute Master Sergeant Robert Ham. He's tonight's 4-state hero. You know, we have more than 3,000 of these heroes in our database, local men and women who've served in our armed forces or are currently serving. You can read about all of them. You can also nominate a hero of your own anytime. It's very simple. You just go to our website. That's koamnewsnow.com. Hey, look at this. How's this for a photo bomb? An alligator that looks like it's emerging from a street drain just as a police officer takes a selfie. This is real. It happened in Palm Bay, Florida. The police department posted the image to its Facebook page along with a caption. It read, quote, "When you're just trying to take a normal sewer selfie and you get photo bombed." At least he smiled. Now, according to the Post, the gator was actually stuck in the drain. The department enlisted the help of a trapper to get that big reptile unstuck.
I'm from Kansas. I wouldn't think about taking a selfie, man. I would be like, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I would be gone in a hurry. But, you know, we ask our first responders to do a lot of things, including apparently occasionally getting gators out of sewers. Weather looking pretty nice.
Yeah, it's going to warm up this weekend, and especially early next week. A pair of 89s to start next week. 90 by Tuesday. We do have some rain chances working in mid to late next week. That'll cool us down a little bit. But overall, mild weekend. Pretty warm early next week.
Not too bad. Final sports note.
Pitt State and Missouri Southern will be at home this Saturday, both coming off wins.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget our morning show, and let's make it a great tomorrow.
Salon services provided.